Victim3, a star witness in Diddy Combs' ex-trafficking trial, vanishes without a trace just days before she's set to testify, threatening to unravel. Victim3, a star witness in Diddy Combs' ex-trafficking trial, vanishes without a trace just days before she's set to testify, threatening to unravel the prosecution's entire case. Opening statements delivered on May 12th hinged on her account of coercion and drug-facilitated assault. Yet now, neither federal prosecutors nor her defense counsel can locate her. The courtroom in Manhattan buzzes with uncertainty. How do you proceed when your key witness goes dark at the 11th hour? Diddy Combs is facing an indictment in the Southern District of New York on counts of racketeering, ex-trafficking, coercion, and related offenses. After jury selection wrapped up on May 21st, prosecutors moved straight into opening statements on May 12th, laying out a case built on narrow but powerful witness testimony. Federal agents allege that Combs' inner circle orchestrated a scheme to recruit, transport, and exploit vulnerable individuals, using drugs and threats to maintain control. With the stage set in Manhattan federal court, every legal maneuver, from motions to suppress evidence to potential continuances, now hinges on the strength of that testimony. Victim3, whose true identity is Allie Carter, initially testified under a protective pseudonym, but then made the extraordinary choice to wave that shield, vowing to reveal every detail of the drug-facilitated assault she endured. As the only witness prepared to expose the coercion orchestrated by Diddy Combs' inner circle, including longtime aide Christina Coram, her decision marked a dramatic shift in the trial's dynamics. In a case where most survivors remain anonymous, Carter's willingness to stand unmasked underscored just how critical her testimony was intended to be, and why her abrupt disappearance reverberated through the entire courtroom. On May 9th, Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey alerted Judge Mark Galen that all attempts to reach Allie Carter had failed. Calls went unanswered, emails bounced, and her last known address appeared vacant. By the following morning, federal marshals had canvassed her Manhattan apartment building with no sign of her belongings, while her defense attorneys reported that her phone voicemail had been deactivated. Prosecutors noted in open court that this wasn't a routine absence, but a full-fledged disappearance. No check-ins, no trusted contact, nothing. With opening statements looming on May 12th, the defense even filed an emergency request to compel her testimony or face contempt, but without her presence, and with no clear clue as to where she might be, both sides now stare down the prospect of a major delay, or worse, the collapse of the coercion and assault counts that hinged on her account. Allie Carter was set to lay bare the shocking details of the drug-facilitated assault she endured, testifying that at a private gathering, she was slipped a mixture of GHB and ketamine, rendered helpless, then handed over to Diddy Combs, who used an inanimate object to violate her while his aide, Christina Coram, looked on. Her account would have directly linked Combs to the violence, providing the linchpin for the coercion and ex-trafficking charges. Devoid of her first-hand narrative, the vivid chronology of laced drinks, forced compliance, and orchestrated cover-ups, prosecutors are left with fragmentary evidence and no compelling witness to transform those fragments into a coherent, undeniable story of abuse. John J. Perlstein, a veteran defense attorney, warned that the disappearance of a key victim at trial is crippling for the prosecution, noting that while other counts might survive, the specific charge tied to Victim3 now hangs by a thread. Entertainment lawyer Joanna Nieves echoed this, explaining that with only 3 to 4 survivors willing to testify, losing one forces prosecutors to adapt or risk dropping that entire count. And Greg Jarrett, a Fox News legal analyst, pointed out that strategic delays, motions to compel attendance, threats of contempt, are all prosecutors can deploy when their linchpin witness vanishes. These maneuvers buy time, but cannot replace the visceral power of a first-hand assault account under oath. With the ex-trafficking and coercion charges now perilously dependent on a single voice, every legal strategy, from plea negotiations to jury instructions, must be recalibrated on the fly. Yet even as the courtroom scrambles, rumors of witness intimidation are already circling. Social media chatter erupted when a leaked voice note surfaced of Allie Carter, tearfully describing break-ins at her home, alleged threats against her family, and a chilling warning that they've even leaked my address. There's a baby in danger. Fans speculated that hired goons were dispatched to unalive her, forcing Carter into hiding. Comments under viral clips mentioned shadowy figures tailing her, unmarked SUVs parked outside her building, and whispers that Christina Coram may have orchestrated the intimidation to silence the only witness capable of exposing the full extent of Sean Diddy Combs' crimes. While no independent verification exists yet, the combination of a frantic live stream plea, where Carter begged for protection, and this ominous voice note has fueled theories of a sophisticated intimidation campaign aimed directly at undermining federal witness protection efforts. By issuing an emergency subpoena, Judge Mark Galen gave Allie Carter one final deadline to appear or face contempt charges. Yet, when no witness arrived, he ordered both sides to conference on whether to grant a continuance or strike her testimony entirely. Prosecutors led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey have threatened to move for a default judgment on the counts tied to her account, while defense counsel argues that without her live testimony, those allegations cannot stand. The court is now weighing three options: compelling Carter through marshals, delaying the trial until she's found, or excising the drug-facilitated assault count and proceeding on the remaining charges. Each path carries risks, either prolonging a sensational trial or weakening the government's most powerful narrative. Now, as jury deliberations loom, the fate of the ex-trafficking and coercion charges rests on an empty courtroom seat, leaving prosecutors and survivors alike in limbo. If Allie Carter remains missing, the government may have to drop its most damning claims or risk a trial stripped of its central narrative. Yet the broader question hangs in the air: when a key voice is silenced, does justice for survivors still stand a chance? Stay tuned. This story is far from over.